Howdy folks, my name is Lance Elliott, and welcome to Let's Play Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead version point C. So we recently did a series of Cataclysm where we were looking at a experimental build for Poison version point F, what will be version point F, I would assume. And we weren't really enjoying the way the game was going. They made the game, Cataclysm's always been a game about realism, but I feel like they're kind of taking things a little bit too far, and I'm starting to not have fun with it. I'm not sure point C is where I want to be. Like my ideal, like this is the most fun. I wanted to go all the way back to version point A, but I can't find a build of it anywhere. They've taken it off the website and stuff, and it's not in the launcher. The only way I could get a hold of that is for someone with Linux to recompile it for me, and people don't seem interested in that. Same for point B. Point C was a little furthest back I could go back. And yes, if you did see an episode go up earlier today, the quality of that video, just the video quality visually, was too low. We can talk more about that later, but yeah, it wasn't up to my quality standards, so we're playing it again, this time in 2K and 60 FPS, so that ought to fix that problem. If it doesn't, we have bigger problems going on. Animatronic Monsters. Animatronic Monsters is a mod I made way back when Five Nights at Freddy's was new. I think I made it after Five Nights at Freddy's 2. That's how old that is, and I made that one. It's not in the game anymore in the newer builds because I just didn't really support it. I was pretty bad at modding. I was able to get it to work, but it wasn't really balanced or anything. I would turn more survivor stuff on, but I think this is a newer mod of like survival tools and stuff, so I don't think that's actually going to work in this old build of the game. I believe these are our only mods available. Like, I don't think the blacklist and stuff is separate here. Yeah, that's a newer thing. So yeah, there's some stuff that, like, we want stats through skills, but it's not available to us, unfortunately. Let's see if these world defaults are good. We are going back in time, so there is something to be said for starting in the middle of the night. That's what I used to do, is I'd go out and adventure at nighttime, because there wasn't any zombies inside of buildings for the most part. And there wasn't any shady zombies, which are invisible at night. And so going out at night and raiding the houses was like a great way to get into them without having to fight. However, just the raw difficulty of zombie encounters has gone up so much since this build that I think I can take them just fine in the daytime, even with like low stats potentially. Just generate a new name here. One thing that is really nice here is the greater than and less than keys go back and forth here again. You might say that doesn't sound very fun, or that doesn't sound very exciting. When are you excited about that? Well, at some point they made it so tab and back tab go through those tabs. You might say, well, tab sounds fine. Would you go ahead and find back tab on your keyboard? I'll wait. Except I'm not going to wait. We're going to go forward. Back tab is shift tab. I had to look that up. It was kind of annoying. We're going to do good old-fashioned evacuee just for the fun of it. We'll come back to stats once we have more points. Let's do our negative points first. It's the personality, as always. Animal Discord, as always. Bad knees, we're going to take it. This makes it so... It actually doesn't say by how much, but I think it's 25% or 50%. Makes you 25 or 50% slower walking over rough terrain. But back in the day, point C, for instance, there wasn't that much rough terrain. And you could like really know where it's at and use it to your advantage. Whereas now, everything is long grass, and long grass is rough terrain. Bad Temper's new. Oh, Bad Temper's old. I don't know what this is in the new game. Let's see. What else can we grab here? Forgetful for sure. Heavy Sleeper, as always. I actually say that's a positive one, but we don't want High Thirst. Lightweight, absolutely. Mood Swings is one you can always think about. It's only worth 1 point, though, and it's kind of annoying, so not going to do it. For Hearing, absolutely. Schizophrenic. This is the one that's been replaced in the newest build of the game. They've made it so it's like, I don't even know what it's called now. It's really strange. Canatonic State or something. And it's from like, I don't know how to describe it. Paranormal things going on rather than a medical condition. I guess it just wasn't PC to say that anymore. We'll go grab Slow Healer because This is back when you could heal really quickly. So slow healer absolutely is fantastic for us. Trigger happy, truth teller ugly. That's the big 3 that everyone takes, and then I like to take weak stomach too, because all we gotta do is just not eat bad food and we'll be fine. Death's always tempting, but let's get fleet-footed first. Makes us go faster on flat terrain. Inconspicuous what? Oh, you know what? This is gone. I used to pick this all the time, but it's gone now. I think they maybe got rid of the scent system. I could be wrong. I remember the scent system used to be this big deal, and I haven't really heard anyone talk about the scent system anymore. Well, no, there's still weak scent and stuff. This one must just have not really worked or anything. Anyway, it's not really necessary. It's not that helpful. Debatably, light step isn't even anymore either. Well, it sets off traps. It prevents traps from being set off, which there were a lot more traps back in the day. So we'll grab it. Night vision, have to have it. Because back in point C, your regular vision at nighttime is 1 tile around you. And if you have night vision, it's 2 tiles around you. It's really bad compared to now. You can see, like, even without night vision, you can see a really good distance away at night. I will grab Outdoorsman because it's going to be raining all the time. Which I'm honestly excited to see because it rains. It doesn't rain at all in the new game, which is kind of annoying. It does, but it's so rare. I think I've seen it like twice since like build E. It might have even been disabled in E. I don't think I ever saw it in E. I think it was experimental builds after that I maybe saw it. Pack Mule. This is way back when Pack Mule was good again. Actually, Pack Mule I think worked in point E as well. But I think it was maybe 20%, not 40%. So it is still better. But now it doesn't do... It makes you like 10% faster at moving things in your inventory now. Which is not fun. We'll grab Quick so we're just a little bit faster at everything. I might not grab Weak Scent. I might not grab Light-Footed either. Because of those traps. I think I'll keep it because of the traps, but... I don't think the stealth stuff has actually ever really worked that well for me. I think it did when I would raid houses at night, because then things off the street won't track you down. But I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we need to. And then we just got to get some basics here. Construction level 2 is pretty critical. Fabrication level 2 is pretty critical. Phoenix level 2 is pretty critical. Handling level 2 is pretty critical. Now, I potentially want like bashing weapons, but we need to get some points here. Bring everything to 10 first at least. You gotta crank that intelligence because it limits you from being able to read books, and since we don't have stats through skills, this is our only way to get our intelligence up. It reduces our carry weight to reduce our strength, but yeah, we'll take that. 10 seems fine. And then we'll just name this character after us, because we did John Freeman recently. And that's why I normally name my character. And we'll start at the shelter. That sounds fine to me. Am I sure I'm finished? Yes. Ooh, baby. So we are using a custom font for the ASCII characters here. Because for some reason it does say there's tiles in the menu, which we can't access because Escape didn't bring up the menu back in the day. But pretty sure back in point C there was no tile sets. I think that was like a point D thing, maybe. But I remember way back then, it's actually snowing. Never see that in the game. But yeah, let's go grab a rock real quick. But yeah, I remember forum threads of people wanting tile sets all the time, and they're like, no, there's no way to actually put a tile set in the game. It's not going to work. It's impossible. Well, now the game's the default tile set. And there's like 20 different tile sets. And there's also a time where like, oh, we can't make the game run full screen in game mode, and it does now, so. Okay, so here's our map. Got a park. Parking lot could have a working car in it. Grocery store would be great to go get a shopping cart. What is H? Power substation. Those are good to find an electric zombie that we can chop up and get CBMs from. This is probably military outpost, okay. Cathedral. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Should be a cave. Bunker. Yeah. Now, one thing that's interesting is back in the day, we're gonna be saying that a lot. There's no water inside the forest, whereas now there's water in like every forest tile now. So in order to get an infinite supply of water, we are gonna have to build like or find something that's near these rivers and forest. But for now, we'll build this rock with our full screen inventory. Be very bad at bashing things down, but guess what? We don't have stamina, so we don't have to worry about using up all of our stamina. Also, there's no sound effects. The music playing is my own. That's a downside, definitely. Sound effects are nice. Which is why I think point D will probably be our perfect spot for me. Go ahead and wheel that makeshift crowbar. Smash up some wood here. These are benches. I might actually have to start explaining what all these ASCII characters mean for anyone who's new to the game. I do apologize. And we'll bash these windows in. Let's get these sheets moved up. Just gonna get some basic clothing built before we get started here. If you are new to Cataclysm, I would say you probably want to watch the newer series. Probably not the newest one. I would say Point E is probably my best video right now. That's in a playlist that you can check out. That'll give you a much better idea of what Cataclysm is all about. I also have tutorial series. They're also for like point... I think I made it in Point D, actually. For the last tutorial series. And let's see, because this is outdated information at this point if you're watching this one. So if you're new, probably not the best starting point. This is closer to the builds that make me fall in love in the game. As I've said, I don't particularly enjoy the newest build. But that's okay. We'll see where it goes. I can always just stick to point D or something. E was good. E was fine. E... The biggest problem with E, beside the meme, is that they dramatically reduced the healing rate and stuff. I think it was still intact at point D. But yeah, it made dealing with health a lot more difficult. Let's see, we gotta find the thread and like manually load it now. Yeah. Some little bits and oddities that I just like don't remember. There's one needle. I can reload the wooden needle if I select it first, but I can't reload it by just pressing R. I guess that defaults to just pressing R just defaults to trying to reload your main gun if it's in your hands. But in newer builds it just reloads anything, or it brings up the list of everything you want to reload. Okay. But yeah, the makeshift crowbar that we just built is fantastic. Another like early weapon is the cudgel, but you can compare it 8 bash 0 cut plus 2 to hit and 111 attack, moves per attack. The less moves there are, the better. It means it's faster. Oh, I have caps lock on. But if we look at the makeshift crowbar, 12 bash, 1 cut, 2 hit bonus plus 2, moves per attack 101. So it's faster, more bashing, has a little bit of cutting damage. It's just way better. But in the newest build of the game, that doesn't work anymore. The makeshift crowbar is like really terrible. It like, almost doesn't even do its normal crowbar functions even. And on top of being a bad weapon, the cudgel's a lot better. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so we need to build a few more pieces of clothing here before we can leave. Because our hands are going to freeze off because we're in sort of like in a nuclear winter, I would say. They've since kind of like changed what's going on. Didn't I will say it never did say that it is a nuclear winter. But it's just like it's spring day 1. And it's like you'll die if you're outside too long, even in like winter clothes and stuff. So I'm like, I always thought that it was probably a nuclear winter situation. Because basically in Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, every apocalypse that you can think of has occurred simultaneously. Build a duffel bag here so we can carry stuff. So I always assumed it was just so cold because it was nuclear winter. But in more recent builds of the game, you don't start on day 1 of spring anymore. You start on day 20 of spring, and things are warm again. So I suppose it's not what they were going for. They just wanted spring, the start of spring, to be cold to make the season's transitions more accurate. But I think it was a little bit more fun when it was possibly a nuclear winter. Build a cotton hat to keep our head cold or warm. We do have a hood on our winter coat that we're wearing right now, which is automatically equipped if our head isn't covered by anything else, which it is now that we put the cotton hat on. But we want more layers just so when we're fighting zombies, we have a little bit more protection. Let's see, I think we need a long underwear bottom, probably the top too. It's freaking cold out there, man. I'm getting thirsty. We should have water, but we might not have any food in the base. We'll have to find it. That is one thing that's nice about the newer builds, is there is food and water in the starting shelters, like a lot of it. So if you get new to the game, you still have some time to camp in the shelter before you have to go out and salvage. Alright, get me the top as well. Once we get these built, we should be able to reinforce everything, and then we should be able to go towards town. The thing I'm really curious to see... Oops, didn't mean to do that. Gotta check our layers here, because it doesn't auto layer back in the day here. Like, we don't want our long underwear bottoms over our jeans. So we'll take care of that real quick. Alright, so now we'll use our wooden needle to reinforce all of this armor. Might take a few tries. It's not going to tell us what the chance of success is. There we go. It's a lot higher than it is in the future, though. They made it so you have to be like a really high level at tailoring to actually reinforce things. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Winter boots, I think, need wool. Well, maybe not. Yeah, wool. I thought it was the scarf that did, but I guess not, huh? That must be in the future. Normal knit scarf must be considered cloth right now. Oops. Oops, I didn't mean to loosen my knit scarf. Activate needle. There we go. So by reinforcing our gear, it gives it a little bit more HP, and also gives it a little bit more armor, which I think gets changed in the future. Oops. And we needed to drink anyway, so that's fine. I accidentally drank the water. This is one of those things that I think is probably improved by point D. I think that's going to be our sweet spot. We'll see. We're going to go through each one. Actually failed. I don't know. The chances might be like super random. They might not be influenced by anything right now. In the future, it's a lot more clear if you're having much success. Oops. With reinforcing gear. Kind of messing up a lot here. There we go. Yeah, the first try on winter coat. There, we don't need to carry the rock and splintered wood around. Alright, so for for those of you who are new to the game, let's explain a few of the things we're looking at. Even if you played Cataclysm before, you might not know what you're looking at because this is ASCII rather than a tile set. So we're in an evac shelter. That's this building here. Designated by the walls are in the lines. These little crosses are plus signs and they're doorways. These little dashes, quotation marks are windows. These zeros are broken windows that have some chipped glass on them, so we have to be careful going through that, or it'll cut us. This is an open door. These are stairways down. These little orange or brown hashtags are benches. This @ symbol is a NPC that starts in the building with us. We can talk to them in a moment here. There's a computer in the corner, and it's producing a little bit of light. That's why these squares are lit up. This is all dark. We can't see it very well, and then all of this out here is Fog of War. Which we don't have. Like, if you play the game in a newer build, you can actually see this stuff if we like stepped outside and came back in. It'd be in like sepia tone, which indicates it's in your memory. In this case, it just doesn't stay in your memory at all. And out there we got grass, all just those little dots. These are like little bushes, shrubs, and these little colored symbols are flowers. That's a newspaper page apparently. There's going to be some things I don't remember what they are. These are rocks. We can always cursor over whatever we want to look at. We can press X to take a closer look at things that are farther away. See what more exactly they are, and if there's more than one stuff in that single spot. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything in the lower level here. These can be dangerous. There can be bad stuff down here. Ooh, glove liners. Those are really good. Oh, we can't do Shift W just to wear it. I gotta pick it up first and then wear it. That's wheeled, actually. There we go. We gotta layer it. This is to use. This is all stuff that's improved in newer builds. I can admit that much. Because it used to be you could just press Shift W if you have clothing near you and you can just equip it. Not used to be, it just... You know what I mean? It's confusing. Sweatshirts were good back in the day here. We'll have to think about that. It might be too cold for the sweatshirt, but we'll see. Got a little bit of food down here. Ooh, boots. Oh, they don't fit though, because now... Back in this build, things say they fit if they actually fit. Whereas now they say they don't fit if they don't fit. So these boots do not fit. But they would be better than what we got if we could. Ooh, a roll mat. That's some really good stuff in this base. Winter, well, the encumberment numbers are different, so I have to think about that. Foreign encumberment in this build is a lot worse than foreign encumberment in a new build. Let's put it that way. Let's go back up here. The great thing about this roll mat. Let's see. Activate. Roll mat. Place your roll mat where? There. There. Now we have this roll mat on the ground. That's a comfortable place for us to sleep if we can't find a real bed. Our character is hungry, so we'll go ahead and eat the ravioli. Ravioli, give me the formioli. Because the game was good. Sorry. So let's take a look at like a canned salmon here, for example. Nutrition 44. That's how much hunger it survives or gives you, and then quench is 0. So it worked on a system like any other survival game where you just have a hunger and thirst meter. Can't actually see them, it just tells you if you're thirsty or not. But it used to just be simple like that, and I think I like that more. It's a lot more straightforward. It's like, oh, this is 44 nutrition is huge, so that's going to completely fill me, and then I won't have to worry about hunger. Well, now it has calories, and they're accurate calorie counts. They're not just like a different name for this. So this might have canned salmon, I'd say like 200 calories or something. And then, you know, you have to do the math. It's like, is there enough calories? And your character doesn't get full very quickly. Like right now, full would just mean that we've filled up our hunger meter completely. But in the future, in point F, it just means your stomach is full. It doesn't mean that your nutrition needs are met. And that's just kind of annoying. It's more realistic, but I don't like it. It makes things just a little bit too complicated, in my honest and humble opinion. Just gotta be real with you. We'll put some of these things down. The wool gloves might be awesome, but we're out of time for this video. We'll take a look at the gloves and sweatshirt in the next one. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, remember to hit the like button, keep the conversation going in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, I hope you have a good day.